Welcome back to Euro Football Daily, where we're looking at 10 players fighting for their futures at the Euros. All these stars have a point to prove, so it's vital they turn up for their country. Let's go. 10. Bernardo Silva. Turn the clock back to August 2019 and Bernardo Silva was at the peak of his powers. The Portuguese technician had inspired Manchester City to their third league title in the modern era, scoring 7 and assisting 7. But it was his relentless work rate that saw him complete 871 pressures and 91 carries into the final third that really grabbed everyone's attention. Silva was named in the PFA Team of the Year and City's Player of the Season. Fast forward to the present day, however, and the 26-year-old's place in Pep Guardiola's starting 11 is less than secure. Despite being fit for much of the 2020-21 campaign, he only started 24 times in the league. It was the second straight season that he had only appeared for 60% of the available minutes. There is still much to be admired in Silva's game. He had a pass accuracy of 92%, completed 275 progressive carries and contributed 6 assists. But with so many talented teammates around him, there is growing speculation he could leave if the right offer comes in. If he doesn't want that to happen, he'll have to show his class at the Euros once more. 9. Duje Ćaleta-Car. Back in January, Marseille centre-half Duje Ćaleta-Car thought he was on his way to Liverpool. Reports out of France say the Croatian was left in tears at the airport when the move broke down, after a £23 million fee had been agreed. But as the 11 PM transfer deadline creeped closer, Marseille pulled the plug, citing concerns over finding a replacement. Ćaleta-Car pressed on in the south of France, helping OM to 5th in Ligue 1. He was fairly decent too, making 3.9 clearances per match and winning 78% of his aerial duels. But speculation over his future with Marseille hasn't subsided, and now the Euros are the perfect opportunity to get back in the shop window. Ćaleta-Car's opening encounter against England was predictably tough. 3 fouls, a yellow card and just 1 clearance won't make his highlight reel. But among a team of ageing stars, the 24-year-old is an example of the checkered one's future, alongside the hugely exciting teenager Joško Gvardiol. Easier ties await, so plenty more time for Ćaleta-Car to show exactly what he can do. A boarding pass out of Marseille could be his if he gets it right. 8. Robin Olsen. Sweden got their Euros adventure off to a flyer after holding Spain to a dogged goalless draw in Seville. And while La Roja's finishing left much to be desired, one man who deserves an enormous amount of credit is the Swedish keeper Robin Olsen. He made 5 saves, including 3 from inside the box, and produced a point-blank stop from a late Gerard Moreno header. Olsen was so busy he touched the ball more times than any of his teammates. And after 45 caps for his country, the 6'5" giant has continued to be an assured presence for his nation. But it's worth noting that the past 3 seasons have been far from plain sailing for the 31-year-old. Ever since moving to Roma from Copenhagen for €12 million back in 2018, Olsen has struggled at the top level. A loan spell with Cagliari didn't change things, though he did impress as Jordan Pickford's understudy at Everton last term, keeping 2 clean sheets in 7 Premier League appearances. Now back at Roma, what happens next is unclear. But put in more performances like that against Spain, and new opportunities should be on their way. 7. Hakan Çalhanoğlu. Turkey's playmaker Hakan Çalhanoğlu has an uncertain future for all the right reasons. The Crescent Star's dismal 3-0 defeat to Italy may not have displayed his potential in the best light, but anyone who has been following Serie A knows exactly what to expect from the 27-year-old. Last season he silenced his doubters with a creative masterclass for AC Milan in the middle of the park. Not a single player in the Italian top flight bettered his 174 shot creating actions, while his 100 key passes, just over 3 per game, was also an unbeaten return. In total, he scored 4 and assisted 9 as the Rossoneri sealed Champions League football for the first time in 8 years. But there is every chance his 4-year stay in Lombardy could be drawing to a close. Çalhanoğlu's contract expires this summer, and despite considerable efforts from Milan, no new agreement appears close. There are even rumours swirling that Atletico Madrid, along with a handful of Premier League clubs, are ready to step in. This summer's tournament, therefore, is Çalhanoğlu's final chance to show just how valuable he really is. It hasn't gone great so far, but if he can finally turn up against Switzerland, then a bumper payday could be his reward. 6. Moussa Sissoko. Moussa Sissoko's inclusion in the French Euro squad looks more like Didier Deschamps' desire for team harmony over a decision based purely on ability. As after a frankly miserable season for Tottenham, it raised a few eyebrows to see the 31-year-old included over the likes of Eduardo Camavinga, Houssam Aouar and Tanguy Ndombele. That said, he does have 69 caps for his country, plus his 451 league appearances as a professional have all come in a domestic top flight, be it at Toulouse, Newcastle or Spurs. But last time he only made 15 starts in the league, with 10 appearances off the bench. And from just over 1,500 minutes of action, there were no goal involvements and just 1.8 tackles and interceptions per game. His biggest fans will grimace to discover a truly horrific expected goal and assist per 90 return of just 0.02. There are reports Daniel Levy will entertain permanent and loan offers for Sissoko this summer. If there was ever a time for the midfielder to remind us why he belongs at the top level, it's now, as otherwise an uncertain return to North London awaits. Just before we move on, just a quick reminder to like and subscribe to Euro Football Daily. We produce content like this all the time, so hit that notification bell to never miss a video. 5. Gareth Bale. Real Madrid once again have a decision to make over Gareth Bale. The Welshman is still a Los Blancos player, but has said any talk on his future won't happen until after the Euros. There are some strong arguments for him staying in Spain. For one, Madrid desperately need attacking reinforcements, with Casemiro finishing as their second top scorer last term with 6. Bale, meanwhile, hit 16 in all competitions on loan at Tottenham, including 11 in the Premier League. Although it took the British legend time to get going, there were still glimpses of his very best. And then there is the fact his old adversary Zinedine Zidane is gone. Carlo Ancelotti, the man who signed him for Madrid 8 seasons ago, is back at the Bernabeu and praised Bale in his first press conference. However, the former Southampton man's relationship with the Spanish press is still ragged at best, and his monstrous €15 million per year wages remain a point of contention. But if he can rise to the occasion at the Euros just as he did 5 years ago, then his time at the top may not be over just yet. 4. Ozan Kabak. In January, Ozan Kabak jumped from the sinking ship of Schalke to help Liverpool get their Champions League ambitions back on track. The 21-year-old knew he was playing for his future at Anfield, with Liverpool having an £18 million option to buy inserted into the 6-month loan. And to the young centre-half's credit, he recovered from a baptism of fire against a Vardy-inspired Leicester City to put in some solid performances, making 3.5 tackles and interceptions per 90, plus completing 89% of his passes. But after 13 appearances, including a disappointing loss to Real Madrid in the Champions League, a combination of injury plus the unlikely emergence of Nat Phillips and Reece Williams in defence saw him fade from the matchday squad. Liverpool's decision to then splash £36 million on RB Leipzig's Ibrahima Konate, rather than half that on Kabak, signalled an end to his first Premier League adventure. But with 12 international caps already, the former Galatasaray and Stuttgart star is far too good to join Schalke in the Bundesliga too. A strong showing at the Euro should help Kabak remind everyone of that fact and earn him the big money move he deserves. 3. Álvaro Morata. Is there a more puzzling forward in world football than Álvaro Morata? The 28-year-old missed a golden opportunity to score against Sweden and has been outed as the weak link in the Spanish starting 11. Yet Morata's CV rings of a player who belongs among the elite. With transfer fees collectively numbering €180 million, he has a string of giants like Chelsea, Real Madrid and Atletico on his record. And last season he was back with Juventus, also his home between 2014 and 2016, after the old lady forked out €10 million to sign him temporarily. In Italy he scored 11 times in 32 Serie A appearances. Not bad, but it was just the 4th time he's hit double figures in the league, with his return of 15 for Los Blancos in 16-17 still his best. Meanwhile, he's only scored twice in 8 caps for Spain since the start of 2020. Juventus could have bought him outright for €45 million, but instead they've decided to loan him again for another $10 million, with new boss Max Allegri still unsure whether the Spaniard is the long-term answer to his attack. Clearly, Morata still has plenty of doubters to silence. Getting it right at the Euros will help him do just that. 2. Xherdan Shaqiri. Just beating Granit Xhaka to our list is his Swiss teammate Xherdan Shaqiri. It seems impossible to imagine the former Bayern Munich man wants to continue playing his bit-part role at Liverpool. The left winger has been handed roughly 1,760 minutes of league action by Jurgen Klopp since the start of 2018. 1,300 minutes less than he managed in a single campaign with Stoke City prior to joining. His lack of opportunity has clearly taken a knock on his confidence. In the Premier League, he failed to score once last season, with his XG per 90 dropping to a career low 0.06. In fact, he would only find the net once in all competitions for the Reds. On the international stage, however, it's a different story. Shaqiri remains an emblematic figure for Switzerland, with his corner setting up Breel Mbolo to score against Wales. That assist meant the winger has 3 goal contributions in his past 4 competitive appearances for the Red Cross, the same as he managed across the whole of the last season for Liverpool. Now 29, Shaqiri can clearly still be an asset for a top level side when given the opportunity. Hopefully Liverpool can let him show that elsewhere once the Euros are finished. 1. Raheem Sterling. In 2019-20, Raheem Sterling hit 31 goals in all competitions for Manchester City and 8 in 9 Euro qualifiers for England to confirm his place among football's biggest stars. But 12 months later, and his ability in front of goal is once again under question. Sterling scored 10 in the league last term, relatively low by his standards. He would even miss his XG by 2, which proved the highest margin in the Sky Blue squad. His issue is that despite completing the second most carries into the box of any player in the Premier League, his goal to shots ratio has fallen to a 5-year low of 0.15. Combined with the fact his 2.4 shots per 90 is also his lowest rate since 16-17, and the problems are clear. There are even reports Guardiola is running out of patience with his number 7. Gareth Southgate, however, still believes in Sterling. His loyalty was rewarded with a goal against Croatia, and his forward could have had more. The 26-year-old knows he's under pressure, and with success now the minimal requirement at the Etihad, it's imperative that he emerges from the tournament stronger than before. So those are our 10 players who are fighting for their future at the Euros. What do you think? Can you see any of these players being moved on by their clubs next summer, or are the likes of Bernardo Silva and Raheem Sterling safe at their parent sides? Let us know down in the comments, and as always, make sure you're liked and subscribed to Euro Football Daily. You won't regret it.